A couple years ago, I was working my day job, jobby job, and there was a fellow who was a really nice guy. We had a really, like good relationship, good working relationship, and personal relationship, I'd say, and a Caucasian male. And one day he says something to me, something along the likes of like, "You're like the whitest black guy I know." And he said, "You just don't talk like a black guy." And I said, "Well, okay." Like, well, thank you very much. I don't really know exactly what that's supposed to mean. And I didn't really respond to it, in any type of way. I didn't really internalize it immediately, to such a degree that, I was gonna, you know, put something out there, respond in some, bellicose fashion or something. But I took some time to think about it, and what I realized was that the point he was making was that black people are not articulate, they're not well spoken, they don't have a mastery of the English language, my native tongue, because I was born here in America where people speak English. I'm usually pretty surprised when people who were born in America don't speak the language all that well. They might say good. You don't speak the language good. I don't speak the language well. But it just surprised me that he basically, when he what I took from him is, when he thinks of black people or African Americans, he sees them void of that very basic ability to master a language. And that has a host of other implications as well. What else might not I be capable of achieving, in his eyes, if not being able to open my mouth and speak in a way that people can understand clearly. So I guess for a while, for a couple years, I kind of thought of it as this reverse racism, is what I called it. It's like, wow, you're really smart for a black guy. It's like, that's racist. It was like, like, some better take his books away from him before he learns to read and starts a business. I already did that. But I at the end of the day, I started to realize that it wasn't so much. I mean, it is kind of like racism, but I tried to not look at it in a way where I was upset about it. It's symptomatic of a larger issue, which is the portrayal of African Americans. Uh, you know, Meaning that people have a certain idea and expectations of what an African American male, in particular in my case, should be capable of. How I think, how I behave, how I respond, even in a situation like that. For all I know, he may have been goading me, But it speaks to a larger issue, the media, how we're portrayed, the TV shows that you see us on, and the tomfoolery that takes place in those, and the type of stuff that you see in movies, and of course there's the music, and and things like that. Our culture is beautiful. Everyone's culture has many different facets to it, and there's highs and lows on both sides of the spectrum.